looking at the most important articles of The Hindu. Let's look at the first article. Russia suspended from Rights Council. Here we will be looking at two aspects. What is Rights Council and what is UNGA, United Nations General Assembly. United Nations General Assembly. This body is the most deliberative body and it makes policies regarding many subjects. Here there are 193 member states, making it the largest intergovernmental body and is considered as a universal body. UNGA is one of the six principal organs of United Nations. Here, the President of United Nations General Assembly is elected for 1 year term by the members, and this body makes the most important decisions regarding peace and security also. For example, yesterday, Russia was ousted out of its Rights Council and this decision was taken by United Nations General Assembly. And this body also elects the non-permanent members of United Nations Security Council. We all know that United Nations Security Council has permanent and non-permanent members, and this body elects the non-permanent body of that council. In this regard, we will also look at what is United Nations Human Rights Council. This is also an organ of United Nations. This looks at and protects the human rights across the world. Here, not all the members of United Nations are a part of Council. Only 47 members of United Nations member states are the part of this Council, and these people are elected as per the credibility in protecting the human rights in their own countries, and also their voluntary contributions affects this decision. This body is created by General Assembly in 2006. Previously, there was a commission which was replaced now by this particular council. The members are elected for 3 years, and the members cannot be again re-elected consecutively. They can be elected after a while. The next article is regarding child healthcare, child services. The government is seeking public participation for child protection. This child protection comes under a component on mission called Mission Vatsalya. This Mission Vatsalya was previously Child Welfare Services and Protection Services, which is now renamed under the Ministry of Child and Women Development. This mission contains a gamut of components. They are the statutory bodies, service delivery structures, institutional care and services, non-institutional community-based services, emergency outreach services. There is a row going on about the child care number. This also comes under emergency outreach services. Training and capacity development as how to save the people who have been kidnapped and how to reach out to orphans and people and children in distress. All these comes under this. Training and capacity building. This component also assists states and UTs in delivering the mandate of the Juvenile Justice Act 2015. It is also given the task of finishing SDGs, which is an SDG components which is particularly related to child development. We will today look at manual scavenging problems. Most of you have seen such pictures. There is a person going into a sewage to clean it up, and this takes a lot of effort and lot of healthcare problems come into it, and lot of times these people die in this process. The Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment has said that 971 people have lost their lives doing this job since 1993. Why is 1993 such an important year? In 1993, Employment of Manual Scavengers and Construction of Dry Latrines Prohibition Act has been enacted. That's why this becomes an important year. And let us look at few numbers. As per Social, Economic and Caste Census, there are around 18 million manual scavenger households in rural areas. And this is a very big number doing such tasks and risking their lives every single day. And in 1990, civil society has started a movement against dry latrines abolition, and they are now focusing on manhole deaths and the provision of safety equipment on sanitation workers. In the previous picture, you have seen that the person going into the sewage has no equipment around him, and this causes many health hazards to him. This movement has also been demanding the abolition of dehumanizing practice of the manual removal of human excreta and transporting it to other systems. Let us look at what does Employment of Manual Scavengers and Construction of Dry Latrine Act says about. This talks about unsanitary dry latrines and employing manual scavengers in this perspective. But this act doesn't consider anything apart from dry latrines such as insanitary latrines and open defecations. The manual scavengers still have to transport these exhumed excreta from these places. To overcome these drawbacks, Prohibition of Employment as Manual Scavengers and the Rehabilitation was enacted in 2013. According to this act, prohibition of all kinds of manual scavengers without a protective gear is banned. And again, under this, no local authority and government body is supposed to employ or engage hazardous cleaning or sewers of septic tanks. Instead, mechanized machines are supposed to do these jobs. But again, the technology did not advance to such level that this can be happened in mechanized way. This act also talks about rehabilitation of manual scavengers to provide them alternative employment opportunities. After this act, a lot of dry latrines have come down, and the deaths regarding septic tanks, sewage and manholes still persist. The number as it is very huge. In 2013, Government of India wanted to ban the entire manual scavenging, but as the technology hasn't advanced to such level, manual scavenging still persists in India. Earlier, it was a statutory body. Now, it is by resolution. As per the provisions of Prohibition of Employment and Manual Scavengers and the Rehabilitation Act, this body is responsible to monitor the implementation of the Act. Why is that the manual scavengers still persist in India? What are the challenges? The issue of labor safety still persists, and this manual scavenging is mostly caste driven. In most cases, SC and SC population are the ones bearing the brunt of it. Manual scavenging persists because of the continuing presence of insanitary latrines. Despite Swachh Bharat, these problems still persist. Lack of support by society and lack of education among this manual scavenging act. It's not just education, their innate reluctance to opt for other opportunities is also an issue still persistent. And the data shows that there is an old school community mindset that the inclusion of a sanitary toilet is a ritual. Thus, manual scavenging is a problem that still persists and forms an important challenge to our society. For our examination point of view, in the society aspect. Thank you, and we will meet in another interesting session of Daily News Protocol. Thank you.